Material Rewrite Part 3. This time we're going to bake the materials back to the original mesh. This is something Skyline has not been able to do before, and will stop your mesh files in the asset manager from having no materials and looking red and white, which is horrible. So to do this, I've got this mesh in the scene, which is this mesh in the asset manager, and it's got a metal and a wood submaterial. I don't like the metal, so I'm going to go change that to something from the materials folder, something like gold brick. And we'll go change the wood to something in our wood library. Let's say that one. If we go back to our mesh folder, the mesh file obviously still has metal and wood as its base. Now what if we wanted to overwrite that and put what we've got on this current object back to that mesh file? So every time that mesh file is dragged, these new materials are used every time. You can do that now by having the entity selected in the scene and clicking this Bake to Mesh File button. Press yes, and you see the thumbnail instantly change on the mesh to the new materials that are used. So if I drag another one in the scene, drag another one in the scene, they're both all using gold brick and that as a default. So let's go put the original wood and metal back on. Say this one over here. And then bake that back down. And if you watch the thumbnail, that'll adjust. The entities in the scene won't adjust because they're already part of the scene, and you don't want all your entities, if you've just put individual specific materials on, to go back. But if you wanted this to go back to the original materials that the mesh file has without having to drag the materials back on, you can now use the Reset to Default button. If you press this, it will load the metal and the wood back onto the object. Simple reselect and the material icons adjust. There we go.